Some paintings succeed, others do not. Accumulating mistakes and reaching dead ends is part of the process, and there is value in all of it. This is true in most human activities, but in painting there is a paradox. Progress often depends on not learning from mistakes in the usual sense. That is the difference. Errors are the dark matter of painting, unseen yet essential, giving it character and density. Repeating something that once failed does not mean it will fail again. It may become the solution. It means adding another word to the alphabet of the language. The creative process is not linear. It is made of advances and setbacks, frustrations, and moments of joy. These changes depend very little on will. The process is unpredictable, driven by the search for originality and mastery, by lifting the veil of the unknown, and by the pleasure of discovery. From this learning comes the adventure of creation, and from novelty comes enthusiasm. It is a sudden shock, but that's the engine of undisciplined creation. This is a force the intellectual side struggles to accept, as it prefers the safety of rational order, assuming that artistic practice follows clear rules and pure concepts. But chance is unavoidable. Our idea of reality is not pure or clean. What we believe reality to be is not exactly what is there, and nothing exists that cannot be contaminated by thought or by the way the senses inform us of reality. The story began in an isolated place in a mountainous region. It was a long journey, as the roads are narrow and winding. The landscape is vast and powerful, inviting frequent stops. The horizon is wide and rugged. Mountain ranges follow one another, and granite blocks break through the ground. Large gray masses shaped by the wind and transformed by imagination into fantastic giant heads. The old church seemed to be in the process of becoming raw rock, as if it were more than ancient, as if it had always been there and had not been built by human hands. It appeared like an organic cathedral, accidentally created by nature itself. What impressed me most was the patina of the building. Although made of stone, it was worn and clearly showed how nature was rapidly reclaiming its territory, slowly erasing the traces of human presence. I felt I was witnessing the reverse of the process that had once led a group of men to extract granite blocks from nearby quarries, bring them together in the middle of nowhere. On that visit, I made quick drawings with simple lines, capturing the outlines of the buildings and the surrounding landscape. I was surprised to feel my gesture moving in a different direction. The drawing stopped representing what my eyes were seeing and followed an alternative path. Something was interfering with my perception. A different energy was guiding my hand and my will. The first and most important moment of the creative process is the act of doing. It is the automatic gesture that starts everything. The rule is not to hesitate to move forward without overthinking it, and this is where surprises emerge. The goal is to go as far as possible while the energy is flowing. Later, it is possible to rationalize, retrace the path, study and reflect on what happened, think about relationships and connections. But during the act of making art, it is better to set logic and rational thinking aside, to suspend reason and hold back the flood of thought as much as possible. This prevents fixation on the obvious and opens the gates to depth, the invisible mass beneath the iceberg. When something works in painting, it is usually because a constructive change has occurred, the kind that opens doors where none seem to exist. Ideas and gestures may trigger this change, but the reason why this happens is not clear, because it is submerged in a labyrinth of information and circumstances that have occurred and evolved over time, just as we evolve.